We went back to the original, yes. This is the Fleet Foxes version of White Winter Hymnal. I think someone commented that we were only using the pentatonic, so we are going back. We'll switch it up for you guys. Hey guys, welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV. This is the Hulu new show, Season 1, Episode 8 of The Path, The Shore. What did you guys think of the episode? Pretty crazy, right?
Pretty good.
Right? Yeah. You guys, I'm Susannah Kim. You guys can follow me on what is wrong with me? On Instagram and Twitter. It's at Susannah_Kim. It's SUSANNAH_KIM. Let me just switch it off to you guys because I can't do this right now.
You know
Zoe.
You know what it is, Susannah? It's this new music that's throwing you off.
You know, I was trying to find another song and I was kind of sad, so maybe that's what it is.
That's it.
Thanks, Zoe.
So I'm Zoe Hewitt. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Zoe Said What. That's ZOE Said What.
And I'm Miaira Jennings. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Miaira Jennings.
All right, guys. So getting into the episode, it was pretty good.
Yes.
We talked about it like right when we got here. We were like, it wasn't as like crazy as last week, but it was definitely more emotional. I was glad we all got emotional because I was like, I can't believe I'm crying right now. Is this happening? What's this? So hopefully you guys all agreed. Let us know if you did.
Yeah.
All right. So starting off with, the very beginning, we're pretty much just coming off right of what happened last week with Cal and his taking out Silas. He's pretty much stuffing Silas into the back of a trunk. That good old Prius that they use with the Miairas, right? They gotta be eco-friendly at least. So he's like, shoving him into the trunk, and on his way out of the compound, pretty much he sees Mary's dad. So Mary's dad is just really gung-ho. He's been pretty much every episode, right?
Yeah. Now, has he been in that many?
Almost.
Wow,
he makes a good appearance.
Yeah.
Appearance. I can't do it, you guys. I can't.
A good amount of them, yeah.
That's so I'm like, now that we're talking about it, I guess you're right. It's just I hadn't thought of him as enough of a main character that we've been seeing him so much, but you're right, we have.
He keeps trying.
So I wonder if we'll see him die. Cal basically tried him. I wonder if we're gonna see,
That's true. He did make a threat.
Yeah.
It was interesting that he's still opening with how much. Like, really?
I know.
You're still putting a price on Mary's.
That?
On Mary's head. It was so sad.
But I think they had to do it because it had to scare Cal into thinking he was being blackmailed. So, how much for the blackmail?
To really get Cal to threaten him?
Well, I think Cal was supposed to take it as Mary's dad knew what he had done because he was still worried about it. So I took it as how much was basically I'm going to blackmail you, and that's how Cal was interpreting it, not how he meant it, but that's why it was ambiguous like that. Because Cal sort of and then realized what he was saying. And
that's interesting. I didn't take it as that. I thought he was just randomly there again, just running his mouth.
Right, he's camping out now. Yeah. He's pretty much.
Well, I think he was randomly there, but
Cal's interpretation was different.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
What I'm curious to see is that maybe we'll see him later as some sort of witness, maybe, because he's there when Cal's leaving the compound the night of Silas, being hacked. So, I'm curious to see. And also Isaiah too saw Cal leave with the
right.
Yeah. So him too. Why else would they put him? Throw him in there? Like, where are you going?
They need some kind of witnesses.
And you guys, wasn't Isaiah? I just felt like he came out I think of Judge Ito. I just thought, I was like, what is he doing? I don't know. There was something about him that he doesn't have so much of a role other than we see him only one other time, right?
He's really, the watcher,
right? Yeah. Just watching Neighborhood Watch.
Looking out, Neighborhood Watch.
Yeah.
And also, didn't you guys think that Cal was going to chop Silas up because he looked at the fireplace, right? Last week.
Oh, I missed that.
He looked at the fireplace. So I thought he was going to chop him up and burn him.
Oh,
so
that would have been terrible.
I was actually kind of surprised to see him put him in the Prius this week. That wasn't what I expected.
Yeah, I think, So he dug a new hole, right? That's not the hole that Eddie dug.
I thought that was Eddie's hole.
Is it Eddie's hole? Because at least he got some use out of it.
I know. I was trying to stay away from Eddie's hole. I was just saying grave. I'm 12 here. But right, it has to be. That seems like it's the same one.
Interesting. I did not think of that at all.
I thought it was, but
that's a nice square. When would he have dug that?
Yeah,
right. He was already
pretty
tired from dragging him out. Exactly.
Yeah. Who knows?
I did like that when he was like kind of shoving him in there and like getting him out. It was very messy. Like you know, Silas was peeping out of the blankets.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you never really see that. Usually when they wrap him up, it's, you know, nice and pretty. I love that this was like a straight one man, you know, show. Like, you know, pretty much the struggle was real for him.
Yes,
he had a hard time.
And I thought of that too, that it was so messy, like because we see the Cal with the dirt on his face too, and like last week with all the blood.
Yeah.
And I felt like also I wanted to be like, Cal, like take it, you know, wash it off. Like you're right, he was really dirty, and you don't normally see so much dirt, for lack of a better word.
No, yeah.
And then while he was there at the grave, I guess we'll call it a grave now.
Yes.
It's now a grave. He sees a white owl. Did you guys? I mean, I assume that led him to the whole Sean thing. But did you guys get any? Do you have any insight from that?
I don't know what to make of that.
Anything to you?
Wait, what Sean thing? What do you mean?
I mean, because after that he left to go find Sean in, where was he, Detroit or something like that.
So
to
you
bring
were saying
Sean home. But so I assume maybe him seeing the white owl made him feel something that led to that revelation. But I can't remember the white owl coming up in the show.
Yeah, I was trying to remember.
I don't think so.
No, right?
Yeah. Maybe it's coming in the future.
Yes. So maybe we'll
Yeah,
find
I don't know,
maybe.
but somebody was watching him. That owl was watching him.
I know, yeah.
I think that's all I thought, right?
Yeah,
that like
he's
eyes
being
are
watched,
on you,
yeah.
and I didn't think that it led him. I didn't make that connection that he was specifically going to Sean because of the owl.
Right, yeah.
So, but that's interesting, yeah.
But yeah, so but he had some sort of like revelation or something, and then he started, you know, drinking and driving again. He drives off to I can't think of the name of the town that it was.
And it's on his shirt too.
Milburn or
I can't remember.
Wilton or Wilton.
It's like a Wilton or something, something with a tin.
Something like, you guys let us know. Yeah, Milton. But he gets the shirt on, he changes, so he does take his little, you know.
And he changed
He does wash up
in the bathroom of like a gas station.
Yeah.
You guys, I felt so
Exactly.
gross watching that.
Yeah.
I know it's a set and I know it's all clean and it's fake, but oh my god, I just
Well, it's either that or walk around with a dead man's blood all over you and dirt.
Exactly. You know, decisions.
Yeah, I don't know which one's worse here. I don't know.
I just felt so dirty. I wanted to take a shower
gosh, yeah.
myself.
I was filthy.
Like, even
thought of
after
that.
he changed, I was like, still.
Because he was in a public bathroom.
Yeah. So after that, he changes and he goes to a Miaira's storefront. Seems like they have a nice, pretty little. I was surprised. I was like, is that online as well? Because I will get a shirt. I mean, right? No,
That's the nod to Scientology right there.
Yeah, right.
Storefront. Yeah.
So they have a storefront, and he finds Sean there, and he convinces Sean to come back. And Sean comes back, so that leads us to Mary. Mary.
What is going on?
I'm so sad
Mary,
that
Mary.
she's resorted to drugs again.
And sex. She's using the sex
Do we
for
know her
everything.
name yet?
The
Oh,
friend.
the friend.
The friend?
No.
I don't think
No,
so.
okay.
I didn't get a name. I tried really hard to like pay attention. I was like, I didn't get a
No,
name.
I don't think they said
Although
it,
I think she
but-
might be out of the picture now. So.
Do you think? But that's what I'm
No,
worried
and
I
about.
think she'll
don't
come
think
back
Yeah, I
and
think-
hold it against her.
And I
Yeah.
think Sean's gonna find out about that.
About the drugs.
About both.
Both.
Yeah, the friend and the drugs. Yeah.
And you know what else is kind of interesting? I didn't get the impression that the lesbian relationship was an issue. So it's like, you know, a lot of like Christian religions, that's the issue. I didn't get the impression that within this world,
Yeah,
within
I was
this
gonna bring that up
movement,
last
it's an
time.
issue at all. It's just like, oh, she's sort of using sex again because
Yeah.
that's all she knows.
Which is
interesting,
interesting because
yeah.
they seem to be kind of like, you know, taboo about other things.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
And maybe we're wrong. Maybe it is taboo
Yeah,
also.
we
but-
might have to have a little bit more, you know, insight into this other girl's character and whatever's
Yes.
going on. Maybe we need to see them again because
Right.
I'm still not sure about that.
Yeah.
About their relationship.
I think
Like,
and
is she
I think we will.
hesitant? She's like, I don't know if she's hesitant. I still was trying to read that. Is she?
The other one?
Yeah. I don't know.
I think she's hesitant in that it's a new relationship.
Okay.
Oh, I see
Oh,
what
but
you're
you-
saying though. Maybe she's hesitant because it's against the
I don't
Myers.
know.
I see what you're
Yeah.
saying.
Or because she's
Okay,
never
okay,
been
okay.
with a woman.
Yeah, it
aside
could
from
be a
that.
number of things.
Interesting.
We'll
okay.
see,
Yeah,
yeah.
I guess we'll find. Hopefully, we'll find out.
Yeah.
So do we
Yeah.
think Mary then is using the other woman, or do we think she's actually lesbian
yeah.
and she's just all she knows?
I think
is the
she's
man?
using her for the drugs.
No, exactly.
Well, based on last episode, but this time she didn't really have to, unless she was just lonely.
Well, she
think
didn't
she
have,
was
and
just
that's
lonely.
what. And that's why I was wondering, maybe she
Yeah.
is interested in her for a relationship if she's been taken advantage of by men for so long.
Interesting. I don't know. We'll
yeah.
see.
I know it's such a like
Yeah.
into the relationship
I know.
there.
Right, and it's so hard to tell exactly what's going on in there.
Yeah.
She's so like great. It seems so complex. Like,
But do you guys think she really cares for Sean then now?
Yeah,
Because
I think she does.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Right?
You don't think she does?
I don't know. I can't put my finger on what I feel about Mary, to be honest. I can't.
Something about Mary.
That's
too easy? Was that too easy?
Too easy.
I think also because I don't know, with her, I almost felt like something was mentally wrong with her a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you guys too.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's what I was
She has
imagining.
issues.
Yeah.
That's why it's like so complex.
No, but I meant like
and,
mentally,
so many
like
layers.
like I thought like some sort of learning disability or something. Like she strikes me as a little slow.
Yeah.
Also,
Well, I
think
totally
from all the
get that,
trauma,
yeah.
I think
That's
that
what
could
it
do
is.
that. Yeah.
I also thought
as
Sean
sad as that
forgave
is.
her very quickly.
Yeah.
Right when
But
he,
she also denied it again, didn't she?
And that's what I was gonna say. He brought up the whole, did anything happen with Cal? She
Right.
said no.
Yeah.
I don't know if you believe that. Do you think so?
I think
Do you
he
think
just
she
wants to believe it.
But do you think she believes it, that nothing really happened because he didn't touch her?
Honestly,
No, I think she knows she's hiding something. Right?
I don't know. I don't know about Mary, guys.
This is gonna be like an hour of I don't know.
Yeah. Oh man.
She's a complex one for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what happens there.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, Cal's been drinking and driving. He is a hot mess, just real hot, like terrible. And of course, he ends up in Sarah's backyard, in the Lane's backyard.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not gonna go home, or maybe to see my mom or something.
Yeah.
No, he's
in
not gonna see
Sarah's
the
back-
mom.
Yeah, of course,
For sure.
But man, he is in Sarah's yard. Right?
Of course.
I was not having that.
No.
I am not having any, and
No.
none of that.
I need a flashback. I want to see her dump
Yes,
him because I feel like
yes.
she dumped him is the impression I'm under,
Yes.
and then she went straight to Eddie, and neither of them though have been able to get over it
I
completely.
would love to see that backstory.
That has to be it, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And then she's taking care of him, and he's
Yeah.
sick, and she tries to cheer him up with the donation charts. So it seems like Myerism's taken off,
Yeah.
right?
Seriously.
I mean, they're raking in the money, I guess.
And didn't you think it was because they took in the immigrants, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Exactly. Oh yeah,
That's what I
totally.
thought.
That's what the correlation was. Yeah, she's like, we have season 2 now, so she didn't look like a meme chart. That was perfect. So she's trying to cheer him up, and then of course they have their little moment, and then they make out. So like you guys said, it was inevitable. It was just bound to happen.
Knew it was coming, but
It
still didn't
happened.
like it.
It
Wait,
happened.
I feel like a couple weeks ago, 4 weeks ago even, wasn't I the one saying I didn't think it was gonna? I felt like there was, and I don't think it's gonna happen. And
I
was
didn't
like,
want
what?
it to happen.
Yeah, that was. Oh man, my heart broke for Eddie, but I can't lie. It was actually like I see their chemistry, honestly.
see, yeah,
And yeah,
it's like-
Cal's a bad guy, so I'm totally not Team Cal at all.
But I'm wondering
I
if
get
people out there are Team Sarah
I
Cal.
feel like they are.
Oh.
You know?
No,
Because he's like a bad guy, and sometimes people like the villain.
Yeah.
No?
I
You
like
guys,
that. I'm
who
sure
out there?
are.
Do you let us know in the comments?
Let us
Tell
know,
us, tweet
yeah.
us. Are
Anyone.
you team? Is there anyone who's Team Sarah Cal?
Is there
I'm
such
sure
a
there's
thing?
someone,
Right?
yeah.
What nickname is that? Sal.
Sad.
Team Sal.
There you go.
Or Team
Sal.
Seti.
Yeah.
What?
Seti.
Sal,
Oh,
Team
Sarah.
Done. Hashtag done. So yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. And then, so it was a very unsatisfying kiss, I would say, at least for me, and for Cal, because he ends up just.
I was unsatisfied by their on-screen kiss.
I thought. I don't know.
It was
Even though-
passionate for 2 seconds.
Yeah, even though Sarah cut it off, I just feel
cut
like
it
that's
off.
not the end.
Yeah.
I feel like there's more to
I
come.
think there's just so much history there that we don't know. So we'll see, hopefully, either in the next 2 episodes or season 2. But let's see. Oh yeah, so basically that leads to Cal telling Sarah that Eddie's lying. He's like, I can't hold
Didn't
it
you guys think
anymore.
he was gonna
I have
admit
to
to what
confess.
he
I was
did?
like, really? That's what you're gonna confess
Yeah.
about? Out of all, so not I'm gross with Mary, or I beat up her dad, or I killed Silas, or I used up Eddie's hole. No, you have all these other things
All
to
these
confess
things,
about.
honey.
No, it totally made sense that that's what he confessed about, though,
Yeah.
because he's manipulating her all the way.
Him.
He's
All
taking
the
his
way.
girl back.
Yep. And I
No,
thought actually
yeah.
he was going to make a comment about she was lying, and I thought it was going to relate to Allison somehow. And
I mean,
allude
it
to
could
actually
it
having
basically
a
led
relationship.
to that.
really, because she went to check the phone and she sees all the
Exactly.
numbers. So honestly, we don't know exactly if he was referring to his disbelief or if he was referring to Allison.
Right.
Because
we don't know exactly how much he told her.
Yeah.
But we know that she found Eddie's burner phone and all the calls to Allison.
Yeah.
I mean, how long is it going to take for her to push
way.
send, right?
Yeah. Either way.
Yeah,
And you're a woman.
Yeah, exactly. So, can't wait to see Sarah v. Allison.
Oh, and actually, what happened right at the end of last episode? They took her. She went with Cal, right?
No,
she drove
off.
away.
Oh, she drove off. Yes. I'm sorry.
Yep.
You're right.
Yeah. We don't know where she is.
We don't know where
now.
she is. So I think she will come back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. She's probably not far. She's probably on the next street over having a coffee or something.
She's in her
Smoking
Prius.
out. Yeah, exactly.
She borrowed a Prius.
Exactly. So speaking of Sarah, this was a big episode for Sarah. I mean, we start realizing that she's kind of a big person. I mean, a big person in the Myris movement. She starts out with like a nightmare, and I saw Michelle Monaghan on The Chew, and they showed this little clip of like the dream. I was like, really? That's the clip you guys are going to show? Has nothing to do with the show.
But now we know.
But anyway, she has this nightmare, and it basically shows, Hawk and Summer, and they're walking in the middle of the street, and she goes to save them. And I love that when she turns, it's the Medusa. It looks like Medusa, but it's like learned it's the Pachamama idol.
Something like
But I love that it was like a person, a human version.
That was so
that it
cool.
wasn't, because it easily could have been the little idol, and then later she finds the idol, and it's like, oh, same thing.
Yeah.
But it was like a human version, so it was so creepy, and like it looked great.
It was so cool.
Right?
Yeah, I have to say though, this episode just makes me believe in the spirituality of it more. And I know we were talking about this last week with Sarah Jones, and just suspending our disbelief, and we had been talking about our doubts about her story, with Hawk and the birth of Hawk and how he came back to life. But now I'm honestly wondering, does she have this spiritual nature about her?
Yes.
Does she have these abilities? I'm honestly starting to believe it.
And I mean, that's not totally far-fetched from, what happens. There are plenty of people that are, clairvoyant or whatever, have visions, have dreams. I've had, weird dreams, So, I totally don't think it's far-fetched. So it's nice to see that we're, sort of exploring that a little more.
Oh, yeah.
More so than it being, like, paranormal.
Yeah.
I mean, not
Right.
paranormal, but what do you call that? Like, science?
Supernatural.
Yeah, that kind of stuff, so.
And definitely, like, with the baby that, we'll get to, but, like, when she's holding the baby, that it's, like, was it dead or not? Yeah, like, that her hands have that healing power. It feels like there's a healing factor
I would
there.
like to believe so now.
Yes.
I want to be on board.
I feel like now you're Team Myra.
Now I'm so, like,
I actually kind
the
of
light.
am, too. There's a lot of good stuff in there.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm
They're
Team
planting
Myra.
trees. They're, I mean, I'm not for Cal, but a lot of the stuff they're doing is not bad. But anyway, so that idol, it had to do with Silas, we find out. So I wonder if she ends up, looking into that, and that leads her to Silas's death, or Silas, at least his disappearance.
Yeah, she's definitely suspicious when she found it.
Yes.
I mean and I thought that's also why it was definitely a link to like saying she's clairvoyant, because she has this dream, and then we see the idol.
Yes. Yeah. So is that why it came up? Because something happened with Silas.
Yes,
So that's
I totally think so.
Yeah.
She's the chosen one.
Yeah, she's definitely. I think so too. I'm
what we're
Team
getting
Chosen
to.
One.
Yes.
I think
Sarah's
so
chosen.
too. For a quick hot minute, I was like, "Is it Eddie?" But no.
I thought Eddie
But
too.
I think it's Sarah.
Yeah.
I mean, she sees something in Eddie, so maybe partner.
Yeah.
And we also see Felicia's warning Sarah about Cal, and she's like, "I know you guys have a special relationship."
Yeah.
So we'll see more there, but they're definitely aware of.
I think Felicia's next on the hit list.
Oh God.
Like, Cal's had enough of them. I would not be surprised if they're the next to go into some
That's
holes.
scary. Yeah.
But don't you feel like it was an accident?
Well, yeah, but now that I think he did it, and he disposed of the body, and
Well, what's
he hasn't
gonna
told
do?
anybody.
Exactly. If it was
I
an
just feel like
accident,
I just feel like
I
now
accidentally
he's
killed him.
Yeah. I just
If
feel
it was
like
an
now
accident.
he's capable. Like, I don't know if he's going to go down that path of just like murdering people he doesn't like. Probably not.
Already he was super
But-
violent with Mary's dad.
Right, yeah. We've seen these violent times with him, but I don't know. I just feel like now we know he's capable. So it's very likely, but I don't know if he's just going to go around killing people. I don't think so. But I think it could happen again.
Serial Cal.
I feel like, even though I totally blame him, so I don't want anyone to take this the wrong way, like I'm saying, oh yeah, it's just an accident, let Cal off.
Silas is rude.
Yeah.
Like, I can
deserved
totally
it.
see stabbing someone. I just sort of feel like it was an accident. I don't know. I don't picture him. No, just, I mean.
Credit.
No, I need to clarify. I just don't picture him going on like a murderous rampage that he's going to kill other people.
No, I totally.
mean, it was like an accident that was a very bad accident.
I don't know why. I just feel like he's capable of doing it again.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't catch Allison. Shoot.
I know,
We don't know
seriously.
what
Like,
happened.
I just feel like he is, but we'll see. You could be right.
Now I feel so bad because I feel like I'm somehow Team Cal and I'm not Team Cal.
No, you're totally. You make sense. I mean, he was kind of like blinded at that moment. Hopefully, that's not normal.
He seemed
like,
kind of.
he
He seemed really like feeling really guilty like immediately after.
Felt like he
right?
was shocked.
He was kind of like, oh my god. Yeah, I don't know.
I just feel like it's a bad sign that now I say, what did you expect him to do other than
I mean, come on. Like,
yeah. Wow. Note to be real nice to Zoe. Right.
I mean, like, now that I say it out loud, it does sound a little strange.
And on air, you guys heard this, right? Everyone heard it. You guys, I won't be here next week, by the way.
Yeah. Just in case you're wondering, just in case. Yeah.
Just so you guys know, I won't be here. Yeah.
But I don't have an Eddie Hall.
Awesome.
I'm not R7 yet.
Oh, God. Okay. Yeah, that's true. All right, guys. So, with the whole Honduran families, we find out that the U.S. government pretty much gave up. You guys can have them. We're gonna give in, and Sarah's getting a lot of credit for it. And you guys were bringing this up earlier before we were on air that it seemed like.
Nicole.
I was gonna say Hope. You guys, her name is not Hope. Joy's mom.
Mother.
Obviously, we thought her name was Hope, but it's actually Nicole. Sounds like Hope. You're right. You're right. It does sound like Hope, but it's actually Nicole. So Nicole, there's a small moment where Nicole's like, "All right, is a Sarah parade over?"
Yeah.
And there was a quick moment too where the brother, Sarah's brother, which we can't get his name, but Nicole's man, was like given a stank eye when Sarah was getting her praise.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see
for sure.
exactly where that's going to lead. Yeah.
Maybe it's that whole family. Joy, her mom,
Yeah,
all of them.
seriously.
I mean, already the Lanes are on this huge pedestal that,
That's so
they're
true,
the Myers family.
Yeah.
They're the Kennedys of the Myers movement, right?
Seriously.
Yeah, no, they are.
Yeah.
And I mean, and we saw it also, speaking of, of that look, right? We saw it even when she's giving birth later, that again, the second time. And I thought that was interesting because the first time it was sort of like, oh, maybe they didn't quite mean it type of thing. But then when they did it a second time, there's no doubt that they're making a point. Yeah.
She's like, I'm having a baby over here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Which, I mean.
Understandable.
Understandably,
Okay,
they're having a conversation there, and she's like moaning. So yes, Nicole's brother. Nicole is having her baby, and the baby's born with the umbilical cord wrapped around her neck. I thought it was going to lead to something happening with the baby, and them blaming Myerism, and I didn't have a birth in the hospital, something along those lines. Them not having the medical technology.
Yeah.
But no, of course, Sarah, like you said, Sarah comes to the rescue, and she sort of breathes life into the baby.
That seems
Literally.
so cool.
Literally breathe. Yeah, I mean. Logically, it makes
happen,
sense. CPR, that totally made sense.
Right.
I was, for some reason, I thought of 101 Dalmatians when he's rubbing the puppy.
Oh my gosh,
totally not the same thing.
Yes.
But you know what I mean?
What was that puppy's name? Miracle?
Yeah. Lucky or something. Yeah.
Lucky, yes. Oh my gosh. Came back to
Totally
life.
not the same thing, you guys. I understand that. Baby puppy. But but she totally gave birth. I mean, put birth. I mean, put
life.
I can't do it, you guys. Something's wrong.
Life right into
Breathe
her
life
little
into the
lungs.
baby, and that baby started crying, and I started crying.
Yeah.
You guys
When I thought the baby was dead,
I was so emotional at that point.
And then obviously Cal was supposed to jump in. It was his moment to shine, and he was frozen.
Yeah.
He was mute.
And how weird was it too when she was still in labor and Cal was standing back, just like holding his hands up? And didn't you also get the impression that was supposed to be along the lines of he's like sending his evil in there? Like, didn't you get that? I got
Okay,
like
so I was
he
watching
kills
that
the
with my
baby.
sister, and I was like, oh my god, I feel like they're gonna say that he's gonna feel like he ruined it, because he was there. And then Sarah kind of reversed his dark magic.
Yeah, that's how I felt.
No, yeah, okay, I'm so glad we're on the same page. I totally got that.
I thought that was
And I
definitely
thought that was so cool because it's such an ambiguous scene. It could very well have been logic and whatever. She just did CPR. But I loved the way it was composed and she was like praying or whatever she was doing in between.
Yes.
It just makes you wonder.
And the words she was saying, I loved it. It said, "Welcome, little one, to the world. You are whole and you are broken like the rest of us." All of that. I was loving it. See?
You guys are totally into it.
I'm on
You're drinking the green drink.
Yes, guess I am.
I have not been sold into Miairaism yet. Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah, season 2's coming though.
Save me a green drink.
Yeah, exactly. So Sarah welcomes the new soul. I just thought that was all beautiful.
That was cool.
And speaking of babies, we don't really have much of an update on Detective Abe's baby so much. Yeah, we're not sure what's going on, but we do know that he's moving up. Well, kind of.
No, he didn't really get a promotion, did he?
It seemed like he was moving up. He got invited to dinner at the private club. That did not go well.
No.
Yeah, boss orders pot pie for everybody. Even from there, I was like, nope.
No thanks. Wait, so do you guys think he was so mad because he wouldn't be able to go there anymore and have a reason? That's why.
That's probably why he was so mad.
Yeah.
But I mean, also getting your case taken away from you kind of sucks, you know.
I just feel like it was more so he didn't have a reason to go back. I feel like he's really interested now.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it was so weird because I've thought that, and I think I had said before too, like I felt like he was so into it. But then this time when he said he was actually building a case, it made me think maybe we've been wrong, that he's not there because he's drinking the green drink.
I mean, he's a cop first and foremost.
Yeah.
So,
Right,
you know, he does want to, work for justice and getting, if there is a killer and a murder, something to be found, he wants to find it.
So, I mean, and they've been playing that back and forth with us, but the pot pie, that whole thing was weird. And did you guys notice also, like, this really stood out to me?
I love the things you notice. I can't wait.
Okay,
I'm so excited,
sure
guys.
no one else noticed this then. I felt like, especially considering how diverse the rest of the show is, did you notice only white people were in that...
The private club?
In the private club. Yeah, and it really stood out to me because the rest of the show is so diverse. So I felt like they were making a point, and then but I didn't quite, because they made that whole chicken pot pie thing that he ordered for everyone, which was such a strange thing, that I felt like they were trying to make some sort of other point, but I didn't quite get there.
I didn't get that.
I don't know.
Because, like, why would he order? That's not just a weird
like
quirk.
His usual, maybe that's like
it's
his
Thursday, so
he just ordered
that's
for everyone.
That's the Thursday special.
But really,
and he
Abe
just
doesn't
knows
like it.
better than everybody.
Yeah.
But did you get
what I
that
got.
impression? Like, especially because the others in the police precinct had said, like, no one else has been invited to the private club. I don't know. It just weirded me out, I guess, that he ordered for them like that, that it was such an inappropriate behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
it
I think it also to make the point that at the end, Detective Abe was like, I don't even like pot pie.
Yeah,
So I think that
he
kind of
just
had to
didn't want it,
yeah,
honestly.
exactly.
Really? That's what you're going to be if you don't want it? I am never bringing any dessert or any food to the show. Miaira will be like, I'm out of here.
I don't want this. Exit.
Watch your back, though.
I know, right? End up in a hole.
Make sure there's no broken pottery.
Oh, God.
No broken pottery, you're okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Move this to
We'll see. Yeah.
this side.
That's a cut for anyone who's listening.
Okay, so then as Sarah Jones promised last week, we did get a lot of Eddie and Hawk's walk this week. So we found out a lot about, the walk and what it means, where it started. It started at a U.S. base. So it turns out that Dr. Stephen Meyer started in a U.S. base. He was working on top secret psychological warfare. Not totally sure what that means.
Just like experiments with people. I was just picturing like people tied up and
Torture, I think, if it's psychological warfare. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
yeah.
Okay. So like brainwashing, is that what you're thinking?
I don't know. Something secretive.
I didn't think brainwashing, but I do think for them to make such sort of a weird point, we'll probably hear about it again.
It'll come up. Okay. But anyways, he feels like, that's not the right thing to do, and he ends up leaving, the U.S. Army, and he goes on his own walk.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know exactly where he's going, but he just knows he can't stay in one place. So that's basically where the walk comes from. And we do meet a couple U.S. soldiers at the base, and it was kind of rude, right? He was like, show me what you have in your bag. I mean, I guess it is kind of weird that they're just...
Yeah, I didn't think it was rude. I thought they were stupid for showing up at the base like that. And
I thought it was interesting that Hawk was trying to explain the rocks, and Eddie's just like, it's just for fitness. Like, move on. People don't understand us. They don't want to, so don't even try.
And Hawk is just still so naive.
He's so naive.
He plays that so well.
He's so good.
In the whole episode, he plays that so well. So we see, I'm starting to lose my place a little bit, you guys. So we see them. Well,
then they go and spend the night at the church.
Exactly. And I loved seeing Eddie protecting Hawk at the shelter. And in a way, because Eddie was also sleeping on the floor, in a way, it seems like Hawk's making Eddie's walk a little more difficult than it might have been. Did you guys think that at all? No, because now he's like having. I mean, I'm totally glad he went, but in a way, like
he would have been like
Eddie looking out
eating
for him.
himself up if he was alone. But man, that scene with the priest was pretty cool.
Oh, when he starts praying.
Starts praying.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we see him
I would
give
have
the
liked
morning
to see
prayer.
that develop a little bit more. Maybe Hawk ask about that.
But he was definitely watching him.
Yeah,
He
he was
was
watching.
so amazed by it, and I love that he knew every word of the prayer. I thought that was beautiful.
And that's what I think we'll see that again. Yeah, because Hawk was watching like, oh, maybe Dad's not a complete believer.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's when it sunk in. Also, oh, Dad has a history that I don't know about. And
also,
he said it later too. He said, "I've asked you about stuff, and you always say no."
Yeah, that he was kind of definitely avoiding it. And then we also see kind of from there too, like you said. I mean, Hawk sort of opens up to the idea of maybe having some pie when. So I love when they're at their diner, and this is another thing that we're learning about Miarism. He says something, and I don't know if you guys took it this way, but he said, "We can have a slice and share a slice. They have enough." And Eddie was like, "Oh, they have enough now, but we don't know what's going to happen." So basically saying, like, they only want to take a slice of pie if there's enough to go around for everyone. Did you guys get that? Was that what
You
meant?
misheard. Yeah, sorry.
I thought
You
he was
misheard, I
talking
think.
about the
Oh,
money
really?
that
He said
they
we
had.
have enough.
Yeah.
Like we have enough
to
money
afford the
to afford
so
the
they have to
pie.
make it last the whole walk.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Really, I know
I
that's
kind of
really
was
good.
hoping that that's what that would be. Okay,
Great
but yeah.
analysis anyway.
Yeah, that was really good. Kudos to
All right,
you.
well, so they couldn't have their slice of pie, apparently.
But have they told us? Did I miss it? They just haven't told us how much money they're allowed to take. Because why don't they have enough money? It's sort
Well,
of
I'm
driving me
assuming it's
crazy.
just part of it that they just have a certain amount, but
like,
we don't
what's
know
the
how much. Yeah, I
amount?
don't know.
Right. I assume
Like
they
$20
want the walk to be,
Yeah.
bare.
Austere, I guess.
Yeah, got to figure it out, survive pretty much. And we also see the Christian couple there at the diner, and they offer, and I love that they say it's the Christian thing to do. So they keep bringing up these little bits of other religions, and they're dropping those in, and they take them to Brighton Beach, which is where Coney Island is. I'm not totally familiar with the area, but apparently that's where Eddie grew up with his brother. Yeah. And at first he wasn't going to go, so if it weren't for Hawk, he might not have ended up at the shore.
That's why I love that Hawk went on this walk.
Yes, totally. And so they end up at the shore, at Coney Island, and Hawk says, "What's funnel cake?" And he's so
sheltered.
So sheltered.
What are Myrists not allowed to eat funnel cake? I don't get it.
I don't think they indulge in very many outside activities.
Probably just haven't been to like an amusement park. Yeah. That's the only place you would get funnel cake.
It seems like he just goes to school and goes back to the compound.
Yeah.
I just feel like what's wrong with these people that they're not making funnel cake? It's like the best dessert in the world.
1 point down from my
See, I am not getting on that ladder. I can't have funnel cake.
But what I immediately thought of was Sarah too. I mean, Sarah's been in Myers since she was born, so she also has to be so sheltered like that.
That's
in
why
like
she put
even
that
more
lipstick
way,
on and stuff.
Ooh.
I think that's, going back to when she goes to her sister's house and she was really just soaking it in because she never gets to experience that herself.
I wonder if you're right. Like, I don't think of her as sheltered. And I guess that's why they made that point with Hawk saying about the funnel cake, making the comment about the funnel cake, because we do forget, because they do exist in like the real world.
Right.
But
right. And they're so like, strong with their beliefs, and she's so confident with everything. You wouldn't think that, she doesn't know what funnel cake is, but it's totally possible. Does Sarah not know what funnel cake is?
Has Joy had funnel cake?
Right?
She would be way more joyful.
Right, yeah. With her feet off the air, apparently, because she's just lifting off the air all the time. So Eddie shares his stories about his brother, and he gets very emotional, and I loved all of that. It was interesting to see that his brother is sort of symbolizing Eddie like leaving the movement, even though he was kind of the reason Eddie ended up in the movement too, right? So it's interesting that was like a big moment in his life, and it sort of led him one way, and it's sort of taken him out.
Yeah,
right?
that's an interesting point. I didn't think of it that way.
Because why would it be Eddie's brother that's showing up?
Right?
What do you think?
And because Eddie's brother was the one who showed up in Peru, also that started all of this.
The first vision.
And then they also made that comment in this episode too that you are everyone in your dream.
Oh, I love
so
that.
didn't you think that was interesting too? That means so Eddie is also pulling himself away from it is the interpretation. What do you think? Like if Eddie is supposed to be his brother, I wasn't quite sure how to interpret that.
I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah,
I think we have to wait and see a little bit more.
Yeah. That's definitely like analyzing the dream a lot.
Yeah. Well, because I feel like that's what they intended.
Yeah.
Because with Sarah too, they said specifically, right? You're everyone in your dreams. So I feel like she was worried about all the impending danger.
Right.
That's how I felt like when she was supposed to be Hawk and Summer sitting in the road. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. And I love the moment where they're at the shore at Coney Island and they see Paul's daughter, which is where they sell clam rolls, which is like the best thing that Eddie's ever eaten.
I want to try one. It sounds so good.
Yeah,
I don't know, but I need
I've
one.
heard of a lobster roll. I haven't heard of a clam roll. I love that it was called Paul's daughter. I was like, as in Aaron Paul's daughter? Is that?
I bet that's totally an inside joke. Yeah, I bet it is.
Yeah. But anyways, I thought that was cute that they shared that little moment, and Hawk's totally all about having clam now, you know?
Yes.
He didn't think twice earlier at the shelter. That was, what, hours ago?
Yeah.
He was like, should we be eating this? It's not vegetarian.
Right.
Oh, I didn't even think of it that way.
he's
Yeah,
like,
you're
shoot.
right.
Now he's like, we'll have two.
Yes.
That's $22. They had enough. They had $22. They couldn't have pie.
I know.
Okay.
But the
Well,
clam rolls are
the
just
soy rolls.
priority here, Susannah.
And they looked bready too. So I think that's
yeah,
why I was kind of
yes.
like weirded out. Like, is it a piece of bread with a clam in the middle? Like,
I
that
know,
does not sound
picture
good
like
to me.
a buttery roll, like just crisp enough, but not too hard, and then like filled with this beautiful clammy like filling.
I think like that's the part that like
I don't
clammy
know.
filling. What is that?
Well, if you think of like, I think lobster rolls are like lobster. Why are we talking about this? But I think lobster rolls are
If
like
you guys are watching and you know what clam rolls are,
Thank you.
please
Yeah.
shoot us a link to like the best clam rolls
Whoever
spot or
lives
something.
near Coney Island, if there really
Why don't
is
you
a clam
send
roll
us
spot.
some?
Yeah.
We'll be here next week. Send us some clam
Yeah.
rolls.
Right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just love that moment that they shared though. And then he also continues to ask him, when was the moment for you? Everyone talks about their moment when they found the light. Sorry. And I love that Eddie said that he didn't even really have a moment,
Yeah.
right? He didn't totally have like the light moment, but he had the Sarah moment, right?
Yeah.
Where he felt like Sarah just took away all of his doubts and, you know, all of his, whatever, lift all of his pain.
Yeah.
And
I love that he said that because I feel like that's so reflective. Oh, okay.
Sorry, I think we're
Yes,
about to get a
please.
clam roll photo here.
yes.
But I only see
engineer's
onion
looking up
rings.
clam rolls.
Oh my gosh,
I
it
see
looks so
fried
good.
food.
Yeah, fried. And you can't go.
Basically, it just looks like it's fried clam on a roll.
Oh, like a po' boy
Okay,
sandwich.
okay, I was gonna
Like a
say.
po'
Like a
boy.
po'
fried
boy.
oysters. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
That makes
easy.
sense. Oh, why'd they call it a clam roll
So a
then?
clam po' boy.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
That doesn't roll off the tongue as well.
Yeah.
You're right,
Clam
you know,
roll sounds
maybe because
better.
they're up north, you know, so it's not as like a southern
Oh,
thing.
you're right.
Yeah,
That's a
a
southern
roll.
thing.
All right.
Yeah, New England
there we go.
will roll.
Well, if anyone wants to bring some next week,
Yeah, seriously.
Miaira and I will be here.
We will. We will eat the clam rolls. Yeah, I thought that was so cool and so reflective of how he's feeling now because he doesn't necessarily believe in the light, but his family is what keeps him connected.
exactly.
And so maybe he never did believe, but he just loves Sarah so much that he'd be willing to follow her anywhere, essentially.
And once again, it's Sarah.
Yeah.
Sarah. She
Yeah,
led
she's got that
him.
power.
Yeah, exactly. She has a gift.
Maybe the men just have issues where they follow the women because, like Hawk, Hawk is about to
that's
follow
so
the light
sad when
out
he was
to go to
crying.
Ashley, and you know Eddie followed the light into Sarah. Hawk's out to Ashley. These men just follow their women.
That's true, but at least
Follow
it's not
their-
the other way around. I like that I think
follow
you
the
mentioned
women.
this last week. I like that they switched the roles and they have
Yes.
the men kind of following the women's lead for once.
Yeah, that's
Love
true.
that. Jessica Goldberg, thank you. And then we see Eddie encouraging Hawk to call Ashley too.
Yeah.
Use that payphone.
Yes.
I like that she said, like, will this work? Doesn't he make
Yeah.
a comment?
Like it's just so
Love it.
ancient.
Yeah.
I've seen payphones around. Are they really gone?
I think they're mostly gone.
What?
I
Especially
didn't know
the
where
ones
there's
with
one.
change. I mean, some of them have like the
Really?
credit cards now. At the airport, they
I
have
don't
the
know
credit
why
card
I
thing.
still see them.
Or like
Maybe I'm
Disneyland.
imagining
Credit
that.
card.
Really?
I don't know.
Oh.
So if you guys know.
Yeah. Whatever.
If you know
Payphones.
where there's a payphone.
But yeah, so he calls Ashley and it seems like it's going well.
Yeah.
He says, I miss you too. So
Yeah.
we'll see how that goes. Maybe she leaves the YWCA. I think I called the YMCA last time.
Yeah.
YWCA, excuse me.
Young
I think she
love.
is coming back. Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
that was it. I thought
No,
it
I
was an
think
exit
so.
stage left, but I think she's back.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Maybe before the end of the season.
Yeah, I hope
Yeah.
so.
All right. And then Eddie gets kind of distracted. He starts seeing visions of his brother again, right to the shore. And that was the name of the episode. He starts walking to the shore and dropping his rocks. Did you guys get any sort of,
Ooh, I was trying. I don't know. I was trying to
Any
connect the dots,
insight?
and because we got the first vision, and obviously that one was pretty telling as to what he was trying to say
Yes.
and reveal about the light. This one was a little bit more abstract.
Yes.
maybe it was just for his comfort. I don't know.
He did seem to have a look of sort of understanding.
Yeah.
It almost looked like he was nodding.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Like it's like everything's gonna be okay, or like you're headed the right direction, or like I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, am I the only one who thought?
Probably.
So excited. So excited, you guys.
Who thought for like a little bit, is he alive? And then I was like, no.
Oh,
Eddie
yeah,
saw him
for a
hang
second.
himself.
Okay,
He was
I'm
dead.
so glad you said that because I was watching that with my sister and I was
See,
like,
you
wait,
guys.
Yeah, no, I got you.
No,
I
it
got
made
you.
me think for a second because I couldn't exactly remember how he died. But I
think
was
it was
like,
drug
wait,
related.
did he really not die?
Right.
Right.
But then I realized, okay.
He
like,
hung
disappeared
himself,
into the
right?
ocean,
So-
Yeah. They probably would have talked to each other if he was like.
Yeah. But
yeah.
that was an interesting moment. Yeah. I
Well,
definitely
because
agree with that.
earlier when he saw him and they, you know, he was looking after him like further up on the beach. So
It totally looked like he was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looked like he was talking to their friends around
Yeah.
there. I was like, oh, you're with them?
Yeah.
Oh, you're Eddie's brother.
Yeah.
I don't recognize you from episode 1, but
Yeah.
yeah. So that was interesting. I think that's pretty much most of what happened in the episode, right?
Yeah.
Before we go, do you guys have any predictions for what might happen? There's only 2 episodes
I
left,
know.
right?
I can't believe it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I feel like Halloween with this, right?
I love Halloween.
Okay, so Allison's gonna come back somehow, and I think Sarah is going to either be suspicious of like a cheating situation, or maybe she's going to tell him. I mean, maybe Allison is going to tell Sarah, you know, the truth about whatever's going on in her husband and like all of her speculations. I don't know, something like that. And then I definitely think we're going to see more of Cal and Sarah. I don't think that's the end of it,
Yeah,
unfortunately. I think the more,
Pass.
well, yeah, because I think now Sarah's trust for Eddie is just like going down the drain even further, and she has Cal to lean on. I think he's going to use that to his advantage till the end of the day. So,
Ew.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that instead she starts looking into the whole Silas thing, and that leads her away from Cal. That's what I would like to happen. I don't
would
think
be
that's going to
nice,
happen because
yeah.
that's probably too satisfying for myself. But yeah, I would love for that to happen.
Yeah.
And I would love to. I can't wait to see Sarah and Allison in the same screen.
Yes.
Just to see those 2 actresses
Yes.
together. I can't wait for that.
I'm partially on board with each of you because I think that Sarah is going to continue looking into Silas. I don't think that's gone yet. And I also think that Sarah will be with Cal again somehow.
Yeah.
And I also think absence does not always make the heart grow fonder
Yeah.
when the person at home is busy feeding you lines implying about the affair. So I do think she's going to call Sarah, Allison. I think she will call her. She's going to use that burner
Yeah.
phone and find
Yeah.
out something, but I don't think she's going to be a fast changeover to anti-Myerism.
No, definitely not.
Especially now that she's the chosen one, because I'm
yeah.
100% Sarah's
Oh, yeah.
the chosen one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's another prediction.
Yeah.
So Sarah's the one.
Sarah's the one.
Yeah. So then, is Sarah going to find out what Silas said, and is what Silas said true about the Myeris movement being over? Because he was like, "We're done,"
Right.
you know.
That's a
he's
huge
going.
factor. I don't know. I hope we find out this season.
Yes.
No, see, I think he was saying that because he realizes Steven's dying.
Well,
and,
yeah, he's
and
not immortal, yeah.
But he doesn't realize there is really a chosen one.
That would be cool.
yeah, I like
So I think
that.
that's why he was saying the movement was over.
Because
like
essentially Cal was, you know, he dubbed himself the next
Right.
one in
Right.
charge. But he was saying basically, you know, Cal's BSing.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know that Sarah might actually really have it.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's a
I
good
think.
point, yeah.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Interesting. All right. Yeah, I guess we'll see. I guess that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for joining us once again. Thanks for watching. Thank you for commenting and liking our video. Please do. You guys, like I said, I won't be here next week, but you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Susannah_Kim. It's SUSANNAH_KIM. Where can they find you guys, Zoe?
You can, Zoe Hewitt, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Zoe Said What. That's ZOE Said What. You can also find me on YouTube at Zoe Hewitt Hosting, where I do a weekly movie analysis show. This week I talked about Captain America Civil War.
I just saw that too. And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Miaira Jennings.
Awesome. Thank you guys. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.